Hello, you're watching teleSUR English. We go to Caracas, Venezuela in the framework of the celebration of the 20th anniversary of ALBA TCP. Secretary General Jorge Arreaza offered an exclusive
Hello, studios. We continue here in Caracas in the House of ALBA, as we were saying, and the activity that we have just witnessed was the recreation of a model of a political council of the ALBA TCP. This was at the hands of the youngsters, the young men and women that are forming themselves to become and to possibly integrate the mechanism in the years to come. And we are joined by Executive Secretary of ALBA TCP, Jorge Arreaza. Thank you, Jorge, for joining us. So just to begin with the analysis of today, how did you see the young men and women? What's the importance of these activities of formation, of education in the ALBA principles and values?
Yes, this is the first model of ALBA that has taken place here in Venezuela, I believe, in the world. And it's important because ALBA is a different mechanism. It's about the union, not only integration, but the unity of our peoples, of our governments. It's about resistance against the hegemony of the countries that concentrate capital. And I believe that these youngsters, Venezuelan youngsters of several universities and several political parties, have done a great job because they could interpret perfectly the principles of ALBA, solidarity, cooperation, complementarity, and they were able to express it in a very good way. And I believe that this is the first one of thousands of models that we have to do, not only in Venezuela, but in all the countries of ALBA TCP, and that this is a way of educating our youngsters.
So one of the objectives of this model was to recreate an actual political council from ALBA TCP. What were some of the key issues that the young men and women addressed?
Well, they referred and they had their positions really firmly expressed against the coercive measures, unilateral coercive measures that the United States has imposed against Cuba, Venezuela, Nicaragua, and against more than 60 countries around the world, and the effects that these measures have had. For instance, the countries of the Caribbean that are not impacted directly by the measures, but they are suffering the impacts of the measures because Venezuela has been attacked with these measures, and we have not have enough oil production as to continue with the Petrocaribe program, and they are feeling also the effects of and the consequences of this. It was very clear. They also manifested their support to the Palestinian cause and people, and against the attacks that the Israeli state and the genocide that the Israeli state has done against the Palestinian people, and the principles of ALBA. Now that ALBA is reaching its first 20 years of existence, have also been honored by these youngsters.
Now, of course, this activity is within the week that marks the 20 years from the creation of ALBA in 2004. We have the 24th summit on Saturday. So what can you tell us? This summit comes in a very important and significant moment for the world and for the region in particular. What can we expect from this 24th ALBA summit?
20 years ago, not many leaders were talking about a multipolar world. They were all waiting for the power of the United States to impose everything in the world. But Hugo Chavez and Fidel Castro did. They knew this was coming. So ALBA was one of the first initiatives in the world that belongs to a multipolar world. And ALBA even had its own currency, its own bank. We had Petrocaribe for using energy to not to dominate but to liberate the peoples. And this is a very important moment because now the multipolar world exists. We have BRICS and we have the centers really clarified in the US, in Asia, China, Russia, Latin America, Africa. So this is the moment. And we have to resist all the attempts of the Western powers to stop this new world from being born. I believe it's born already, but from developing itself. So it's a really important moment, and I believe that the leadership of the presidents and prime ministers of ALBA is going to be reinforced next Saturday.
Of course, and one more question, Mr. Arreaza. We are in this transition period that you are saying, and definitely things are consolidating and being born. And this is not just a summit that gathers the governments and the heads of state, but also the movement, the social movements of Latin America and the region are coming together. Why is it important for the people, from the social movements, the organizations, to come together and join this unity with the governments as well?
It's really important. ALBA is, I believe, the only institution in the world, international institution, that in its structure, in the functioning structure, we have a council of social movements, and they have a word and a vote in the ALBA decisions. So they're going to meet here in this house tomorrow. More than 150 members of this Council of Social Movements from all over the world, not only the ALBA countries. They come, some of them come from the US, from Europe, from Africa, Asia, of course, Latin America, and the Caribbean, and they are going to analyze the moment that the world is going through, and they are going to make proposals to the governments of ALBA, maybe to elevate this, to raise them to the UN or to CELAC. They really have a word, and we are so happy that ALBA is in contact always with the peoples, not only with the elites that rule, with the elites that are in government, but especially with the peoples, the basis of the world.
Excellent. Can we expect some news, some announcement during this week for the region, for the world?
If I was a journalist, I would pay attention to the summit next Saturday. I would, yes.
We will definitely be paying closely attention to what is happening. Thank you so much, Jorge, for joining us. That was, of course, Secretary General of the ALBA TCP, Jorge Arreaza, from the House of ALBA. We have just witnessed a model with the young men and women that have participated, recreating a political council of ALBA TCP in the week that marks 20 years from the creation of the mechanism. We will continue to place close attention to everything that is happening this week and bring you all the information. Now we go back to you.
Thank you, Belen, and of course we'll stay tuned for everything that is happening during this week in Venezuela's Caracas in the run-up for this paramount Saturday Summit of ALBA TCP Heads of States and Government. For now, stay tuned with teleSUR English. We'll have more updates in upcoming news briefs.